Welcome back, my friends, to Whole Bible Study with me, Taddy Noy, and this is one of my topic Bible studies, Enoch 1, chapter 2. Oh well, welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. It fills my heart with joy that you've chosen to join me again for our journey through the book of Enoch. As we open chapter 2 together, I pray that this time draws you closer to the heart of God, deepens your awe of his creation, and reminds you of the love that is woven into the very structure of the heavens and the earth. This is a chapter that invites us to open our eyes to these patterns of stability and beauty of creation, and to let those things lead us towards faithfulness and peace. So let's step into, with open hearts, the chapter reading of Enoch chapter 2. Observe everything that takes place in the heaven, how they do not change their orbits, and how the luminaries in the heavens all rise and set in order, each in its season, and do not transgress their appointed order. Behold the earth, and give attention to the things which take place upon it, from the first to the last, how steadfast they are, how none of the things upon earth change, but all the works of God appear to you. Observe the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is filled with water and clouds, dew and rain lie upon it. Observe and see how all the trees seem as though they had withered and shed all their leaves, except 14 trees, which do not lose their foliage, but retain the old foliage from 2 or 3 years until the new comes. Observe again the days of the summer, how the sun is above the earth opposite it, and you seek shade and shelter by reason of the heat of the sun, and the earth also burns with growing heat, so you cannot tread on the earth or on a rock by reason of its heat. Observe how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit. Pay attention and know regarding all his works, and recognize how he who lives forever has made them also. All his works go on thus, from year to year forever, and all the tasks they accomplish for him, and their tasks change not. But as God has ordained, so it is done. Observe how the sea and the rivers likewise accomplish and do not change their tasks according to his command. But you have not been steadfast, nor done the commandments of the Lord. You have turned away and spoken proud and harsh words with your impure mouths against his greatness. Oh, you hard-hearted, you shall find no peace. Therefore you shall curse for your days, and the years of your life shall perish. The years of your destruction shall be multiplied in the eternal abomination, and you shall find no mercy. All shall walk in his ways, for righteousness never forsakes him. With him will be their dwelling places, and with him their heritage. They shall not be separated from him forever and ever. So there shall be length of days that the Son of Man and the righteous shall have peace, and an upright way in the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. Now for the deep dive. Chapter 2 of the book of Enoch invites us into a vision of creation as a mirror of divine consistency. Its imagery is not abstract. It's grounded in the natural rhythms that the ancient world would have observed every day. The opening verses place our attention on the heavens, on the luminaries, the sun, the moon, and stars that follow their appointed courses without deviation. In the ancient Jewish worldview, this cosmic order was not a mechanical accident. It was an ongoing expression of God's will. The heavens preached without words, declaring God's faithfulness through their obedience to his appointed order. Enoch's call to observe is more than a suggestion to notice. It's a prophetic summons to recognize divine teaching in the world around us. Ancient Israel's scriptures often linked creation's orderliness with God's reliability. The Psalms echo this sentiment. Quote, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands." By pointing to this pattern, Enoch calls his audience to reflect. If the heavenly bodies can remain faithful to their ordained paths, why is humanity so quick to stray from its own? Verse 2 turns our eyes from the sky to the earth. Here, the emphasis is on steadfastness. The earth, in Enoch's language, quote, changes not. Its foundations remain as God set them. The ancients saw the earth's stability as a reflection of God's covenantal faithfulness. To the hearers of Enoch's day, the unchanging nature of creation was a visual sermon about the Creator's steadfast love. This was not naive about the presence of storms, droughts, or upheavals. It was about the undying order that sustained life. Now in verse 3, introduces the cycles of seasons with a focus on water. Water was life in the ancient Near East, and its cyclical presence, clouds, dew, rain, was another sign of the divine provision. This constant renewal illustrated God's mercy, pouring out blessing on the earth in regular, dependable measure. In verse 4, the vision becomes more specific. The 4 evergreen trees that kept their foliage for years. Ancient Jewish literature often used evergreens as symbols of endurance and righteous flourishing. Even in the, quote, winter seasons of life, there are signs of consistency. Living witnesses to the fact that not all is stripped bare. For Enoch's hearers, these trees were a living parable that God sustains life through every season. Now in verses 5 and 6, move into the heat of the summer. Here the sun's strength drives people to seek shade, and the ground becomes too hot to walk on. Even in this intensity, the natural order holds. Trees respond with green leaves and the fruit in their proper time. The message is that God's creation is resilient and purposeful. Nothing in it is arbitrary. The cycles are ordained and they serve life. Now in verse 7, affirms that all these works of God continue from year to year forever. Unchanging in their appointed roles, this is the rhythm of creation, constant, dependable, and in harmony with its Creator's will. To the ancient world, this was not simply an observation. It was an ethical lesson. The creation fulfills its own faithfully. Humanity is called to do the same. Now, verse 8 extends this to the waters. The seas and rivers fulfill their tasks without deviation. Water in Jewish thought was often associated with chaos. Yet here it is depicted as obedient to God's commands. This reinforces the theme that even what might seem wild or untamed is held within God's order. But in verse 9, the tone shifts dramatically against the backdrop of creation's faithfulness. Humanity's unfaithfulness is stark. Quote, "You have not been steadfast." This is a moral indictment, contrasting the obedience of the natural world with the rebellion of the human hearts. The proud and harsh words mentioned here speak to arrogance against God's greatness. Yet even this warning can be heard through the lens of compassion. It's a call to turn back, to align with the Creator's order before the consequences of separation take hold. Now in verses 10 through 12 describe those consequences. Life shortened, peace lost, and separation from God's presence. Yet the closing vision is not despair, but hope. The righteous dwelling with God forever, walking in his ways, and living in peace with the Son of Man. This figure, the Son of Man, is central in Enoch's vision, a messianic presence who embodies divine authority and brings everlasting peace. For the faithful, this is the destination, an eternal heritage in the presence of the Lord of Spirits. In the broader theological frame, this chapter is about alignment. It invites the reader to see creation as both gift and guide, a living testimony to God's character. It calls us to humility, to recognize that the heavens, the earth, obey. We often resist. And it assures us that there is a path back, a way to dwell in peace, in harmony with the Creator, through the love and justice of the Son of Man. The compassion of this chapter lies in its perspective. It doesn't simply condemn. It holds up a mirror of what faithfulness looks like and invites us to step into it. It assures us that the same God who set the stars in their courses and who keeps the rivers flowing is able to restore us when we have wandered. The unchanging rhythms of creation are not just patterns to observe. They are promises that God's love is as enduring as the sun's rising and as certain as the seasons. Now for some closing thoughts. Thank you for joining me for this journey through Enoch Chapter 2. My prayer is that you look at the sky tonight or feel the change in the air, that you'll remember that God's faithfulness is woven into the fabric of creation. May you find peace in knowing that His love is as constant as the stars above and as sure as the turning of the seasons. Until we meet again, may you walk in that peace, rooted in His compassion and guided in His light. If anything in this special chapter of 2nd Enoch Chapter 2 had any impact for you, please make a note and drop it in the comments. I would love to hear it. Again, this is an apocryphal text, not necessarily in the canon, and it has some really wonderful insights that I think are valuable for us today. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next chapter.